Is S&P 500 index showing some kind of loss of momentum after it has hit the all-time high in the last week? Is it in the overbought territory? Is it preparing for a dip? So in this video, we'll undertake a comprehensive technical analysis of S&P 500 index. I'll explain the underlying price action on the price chart of S&P 500 so that we can prepare for the upcoming week. If we look at the fear and greed index, after the week's closing on 27 September 2024, it reached 68. What does it imply? It is in the greed zone. And in the 1 week prior, it was in the greed zone and the reading was 63. So more or less the market sentiments have neither deteriorated or not has improved. And this being an oscillator indicates there is still a cushion for upside move in the market, maybe after some consolidation. I am D K Sinha. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell for updates. Let's begin. This is the weekly price chart of S&P 500 index. The index in the last week finally closed at 5,738.17, and that is how it was 0.62% closed higher on a week-on-week basis. But in the process in the last week, it made an all-time high of 5,767.37. Look at the price action. Since last 3 weeks, S&P 500 has been bullish. But the candlestick size, the body of the candlestick is reducing. If I little enlarge the price chart, can you see this candle was larger than this candle and the last week candle is still smaller. And there is a price rejection and a kind of a spinning top formation, which indicates there is a lack of upside momentum in this index. Now, look at the price action. If you look at the prior price action or historical price action, it has made earlier the all-time high here, which was 4,818.62 way back in January 2022. And then there was a massive bear market. And then the price recovered slowly and it made a rounding bottom chart pattern for the period of around 2 years. And it gave finally a breakout over here in January 2024. So it was a rounding bottom chart pattern spanning 2 years. And then the market structure became higher highs and higher lows. So if we calculate the target by using the Fibonacci expansion tool, by measuring the depth and projecting the first target was arriving precisely at 5,776 and it made a high of 5,767.37. So it almost attained the first target, which was on the basis of rounding bottom chart pattern. So there is a lack of upside momentum. You too can learn all about technical analysis, how to arrive the price target, etc. By referring to the playlist on this channel, Zero to Hero, whereby you can learn the entire course of stock market education is there in the playlist. Now, what we can see here, if I draw a trend line, this was the pivot and this was the pivot. If we take the reference of these two pivots and draw a trend line, I am drawing it, just watch it carefully. Here I am drawing a trend line. So we can see it is quite evident by the price action that this trend line will act as a resistance. So price is almost at the first target of the rounding bottom chart pattern and is quite in proximity of the rising trend line, which I have drawn just now, indicating that the price is approaching towards the resistance area. Now, coming back to the further price action, the price may correct, consolidate, because recently we have seen a breakout of a cup and handle pattern, and hence this area becomes a good support area, which is nothing but the neckline of cup and handle chart pattern. So based on the price action, this is the neckline area. So 5,626 to 5,648 is a good support zone or demand area in this index. But if we calculate the target of this rounding bottom chart pattern and look at the target of 100% expansion, which is considered to be the minimum expected objective. So it comes at 6,500. So ultimately, after consolidation correction, S&P 500 may attempt to the next target of 6,500, which is nothing but the 100% expansion of rounding bottom chart pattern. Let us move to the daily price chart. Here what we can see, I can further fine tune this price action. We can see this trend line. Price has taken a support, and then was breakdown. So once there was a pullback, this trend line acts as resistance. So this trend line may act as a resistance as well. So price is consolidating here, and look at the price action since last 3 or 4 trading sessions. In fact, the post breakout of this cup and handle kind of chart pattern, there has been a lack of momentum. Very small body candlestick pattern under formation, all kinds of spinning top candlestick pattern, and in the process it attained the first target, and then there is a lack of upside momentum. Back to back 3 days, you can see the gap up opening, and then there is a rejection of the price. So if I calculate the target on the basis of this cup and handle kind of chart pattern, so next potential target comes 6,000, which is an intermediate target before it attains the target of 6,500, which is a target of rounding bottom chart pattern. So let me show you. If I measure this depth and project the target comes at around 6,000, which is the 61.8% expansion of the target of this cup and handle pattern, and 100% expansion comes at 6,220. So these are the 2 potential targets. However, the overall trend in S&P 500 is bullish. Short-term trend is bullish. EMA 21 is placed above EMA 55. EMA 55 is placed above SMA 144. And long-term moving averages are sloping upside. So overall trend is bullish in S&P 500. So there will be a minor corrections in this neckline area where the price has taken resistance could provide a potential support, and there is an intervention of EMA 21 as well in this particular zone, besides the support of this rising trend line, which is acting as a dynamic support in S&P 500 index. You might be wondering that I have covered only S&P 500 index that represents the broader US stock market, but have not covered the Nasdaq 100. The reason is very simple. We have recently started a live streaming session every weekend before the market starts for the new week under the title Market Pulse. So there we cover Nasdaq 100, Russell 2000 index that represents the small cap stocks in the US stock market, and that also gives you the opportunity to ask during the live streaming session any stock specific analysis from the US stock market. So don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell so that you are notified for such weekly live streaming session before the week starts. Thank you very much for watching. Looking forward to meet you very, very soon.